grandmother, a praying grandfather. We are blessed oftentimes, church, because someone else is standing in the gap for us. We are blessed oftentimes because someone else stood in the gap when we didn't know God and we was out there running crazy. Somebody prayed for us. Most of us, if not all of us, are the recipients of blessings because of someone standing in the gap for us. We have been blessed because of prayer we didn't even know was being prayed. Y'all know you wasn't praying when you was at the club. You know you wasn't praying when you was at somebody else's house, but somebody somewhere was praying for you. We must always give God praise for a praying mother, a praying grandmother, a praying father, a praying grandfather, a praying aunt, uncle. Somebody prayed for you. I know we think now today we got what we got all by ourselves, but baby, it was prayer that got you here. And if I go any further, I just still believe today that it's through prayer, the power of prayer. There is power, church, in prayer. Prayer still works. I don't care whatever you want to try. I know for myself. I've tried him. I know too much about it. Prayer still works. The question today is, where would we be, church, if it had not been for somebody praying for us? When you pray, church, and pray right, I should have a few witnesses that God will hear and answer your prayers. I need a mother in here today that can testify that my child was lost and I prayed him back home safely. And I have any witnesses in here that know, I have any prayer warriors in the house that know that when I pray and pray right, God will hear. A mother's obedience will bless her house. When others give up on that child, a mother's love would never, ever give up on her child. I don't care how bad that joke is. I don't care how loose she is. A mother would never give up on her child. I don't care what anybody say about it. She'll stand up and say, that's my baby. When everybody else gives up on you, your mother will not give up on her child. But mama will take that child to God through prayer and leave her child in God's hand. And it does not matter if the child is 5 or 55. It does not matter if the child is 16 or 60. A God-fearing mama is going to always pray for her child. I don't care how old they get. I don't care how messed up they get. If the child is 5 and 6, mama going to pray. If the child is 55 and 6, mama going to pray. Aren't you glad that mama, it does not matter how old that child gets? To a God-fearing parent, the answer is always in being obedient to God's instruction by prayer. If we know, no matter if you are a mother or not, it is better to obey God, because through obedience, God will turn your situation around. Can I ask y'all a question? What do you do, church, when God does not answer your prayers like you think he should? But what if God does not do for you what you request of him? Can you still obey and trust God when you do not receive the blessings you were requesting from God? Let me try it again and hit rewind. Can you still obey and trust God when you do not receive the blessings you were requesting from God? Because the truth of the matter is, saints of God, is that God sometimes says no to our requests. God sometimes says yes. God sometimes says wait. But what do you do when God says no? I prayed about it. I fasted about it. And God still responds to me, a faithful child of God, a servant of God, preach his word. And he still sometimes tell me no. How do you deal with a no from God? Can I tell y'all how I deal with a no from God? I still bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in me, because I understand now, after walking with God for about 28 years, that he knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, a mother's obedience will bless her house. Are you willing, church, to accept God's no as you are his yeses? Jesus said it this way, not my way. Not my will, rather, but thy will Are you willing to put God's will ahead of your will? He knows what's best for you. He knows what's down the road. I can't see that far. I can't see the next 3 minutes, but God knows what's ahead of the road. Can you still praise and thank God when God does not grant you, give you your request? Can you still say with assurance, for God I will live and for God I'm willing to die, when God does not answer your request? I wish I had somebody in the house that said, no matter whether it's a yes or no, I'm still living for God. No matter if it's a yes or no, I'm still going to bless God. If I get the new house, I'm going to bless him. If I don't get the new house, I'm going to bless him. If I get the promotion, I'm going to bless him. If I get fired and get a pick, I'm still going to bless the Lord. Can I tell y'all why I feel this way? Because I've been in situations where I could not see my way, but God always made a way out of no way. There anybody in the house who can testify as our God will provide when it looks dark and dim? God shows up and gives us a brighter day. When you've been through some things in life, when you've been through some storms in life, you learn to trust God even when you can't trace him. I have anybody here, you trust, I can't see my way, I don't know which way, but I know God. When storms have hit your life and you have survived many storms that have hit your life, then it helps you to understand that I'll bless God no matter what. I will bless the Lord at all times. Why? Because he has proven to me personally that there is no other God like our God. Our God is in a class all by himself. Do I have anybody in the house that know that God will make a way for you? Is there anybody here know God will fight your battles for you? When you are obedient to the God's voice, his voice will lead you into his will and into his way. And whenever you do it God's way, if you would do it God's way, if you just lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, God will direct your path. If we would put God first in everything, then he would direct us in everything. The steps of a good man are still ordered by the Lord. Aren't you glad that your mother was obedient to the will of God, and by that and through that, God has blessed you tremendously? Your kids are blessed by your obedience, mama. You ought to be proud, mama. You made many sacrifices after sacrifice to make sure that the house was blessed. You ought to give yourself a pat on the back. You ought to give yourself a high five, because where would we be if it was not for a praying mother? You have gone above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that your house has what it needs to stay blessed. And every home needs Jesus in the house. The text, unless I heard you, hold you too long, they trying to rush me, is that God sent a famine in the land. There has been no rain for a while. But whether there's no rain or not, church, our God proves in this story to us that he will provide all of our needs according to his riches through Christ Jesus. Yes, church, God will provide. Is there anybody in the house who knows that our God is a provider? God takes care of his man of God at a brook. The man of God drank from the brook until the brook dried up. But God, he not only gave him water through the brook, but he fed him on a daily basis with a raven of flesh and bread every day. Won't God make a way for your church? God will make a way for you out of no way. And here it is, but the brook dries up. What do you do when your brook dries up? Will you still trust God? When your brook dries up, it's just a sign, church, that God is getting ready to do a new thing in your life. You just need to get ready to be blessed. Get ready to be blessed in a different way, in a different manner. This man of God finds himself at Zephyr. He's out on the outside, and he moves at the commandment of God. And you ought to move when God say move. A mother's obedience will bless her house, because there is a blessing in moving with God. When God moves, you ought to move, as the songwriter said, just like that. I'm finna close. And this man of God moves in the power of God and by the power of God. And God moves with him from a dried up place to a place where there was not much there either. And you know what you find at the gate of Zephyr is that you find a praying mother. Elijah was entering into the city. It was there he saw this widow woman. She was gathering sticks, just minding her own business. He walks up to this random man or this random woman, and he makes a request from her. Is there anybody in here who knows that God will put the right people in the right place at the right time? Our God specializes in working on a divine timetable. Two people don't know each other, meet each other at the entrance of a city because God said, I'll make a way for you. I just got to connect the dots, connect you to the right people. The prophet Elijah asked this woman to go fetch him some water. Watch the text. This woman did not exchange words like many of us would have. But she went right away and did what the man of God had instructed her to do. And then the man of God asked the widow woman for food to eat because he knew something she did not know. And that is that our God is a provider. Is there anybody in the house that know our God is a provider? This widow woman tells us that she does not have enough. But the man of God told her, if you just make me some first, then God will make sure that you don't run out of anything. I used to want to get upset with my grandmama when she used to fix food and we had to wait for the pastor to get there before we eat. And I could not stand my pastor because here we are hungry. But she knew that if the pastor gets some first, all these other 10 grandchildren, I have enough to feed them because my meal bag. I'm telling you what I've experienced, that our God will make a way, church. Is there anybody here today who has ran out, but God would not let you run out? Let me try that again because y'all see. Is there anybody in the house who have ran out, but God would not let you run out? Your money ran out, but God carries you all the rest of the week. Your gas got low and your gas light was on, but God allowed you to get back and forth to where you want to get. You ran out of money, you ran out of food, but your stomach stayed full. Our God will supply. And the Bible said that she went and did according to what the prophet said. She went ahead and did what the man of God asked her to do. And the Lord blessed her whole house. Is there anybody in here who knows that God will bless your obedience? Is there anybody here know God will keep money in your pocket? Won't my God keep food on your table, church? Won't my God provide for you? Can I encourage mama to just keep on trusting in the Lord because he's able to do what no other power can do. Can I encourage your mama to hold on to God's unchanging hand? Mama, you can build your hopes on things eternal. You ought to just hold on to God's unchanging hand. You can trust in him because he promised to never leave you. Whatsoever the year may bring, we got somebody who we can call on. I need somebody who's willing to wait on Jesus. I need somebody who's going to wait on the Lord. Grandmama said it this way, church. I'm out of here now. He may not come when you want him, but I have any witness know that he is an on-time God. If anybody know God will show up in the nick of time. God will take care of you. I say, won't God take care of your church? Is there anybody that know God will walk with you? I get joy because not only will he walk with me, but God will talk with me. And he'll tell me some good news. Can I tell y'all some good news and I'm out of here? The good news is when I wasn't fit to live, but surely wasn't risen to die, somebody prayed for me. Somebody had me on their mind. They introduced me to a man. They told me that he died for my sins. When I wasn't fit to live, they marched him up old Calvary's Hill. They marched him from Judgment Hall to Judgment Hall. They whooped him all night long. They put a crown of 72 thorns on his head. They pressed it down in his brow. They whipped his back 72 times. And he just kept on marching up the hill. They nailed him to the cross, put nails in his hand, put a spear in his feet, speared him in his side. They stretched him wide, hung him high. Mama, you do know what he did, don't you? He died, church. Aren't you glad this morning that he died? But the record is he did not stay dead. They hung there from the 6th to the 9th hour. He hung there till he hung, bled, and died. Buried him in a old borrowed tomb. Stayed there all night Friday. Stayed there all day Saturday. All night Saturday night. But early Sunday morning, y'all know what happened, don't you? My rock in a rock. He got up and declared, all power is in my hand. If there anybody know Jesus got up with all power? I said, anybody know he got up with all power? And the record is, not only did he get up, but he ascended into the heavens. And he promised me he's going away to prepare a place for me, that where I am, he will be also. If there anybody want to go where Jesus is? I said, anybody want to go where Jesus is? Over yonder. I got a new house over yonder. I got shoes over yonder. I got a robe over yonder. Anybody know you got a crown over yonder? I'm going to go where Jesus is, where every day would be like Sunday. The Sabbath would have no end. If there anybody want to go to that land, every day would be like Sunday. The Sabbath would have no end. Every day would be like Sunday. Come on, go with me, y'all, to my Father's house. Anybody know who I'm talking about? Can I just talk about him just a little bit? He'll be a bridge over troubled water. He'll be a ladder over high mountain. He'll be your cane, walking cane when you get old. He'll be bread in a starving land. He been my doctor in my sick room, been my lawyer in my courtroom. Can I tell y'all, can't nobody do me like Jesus. He walks with me. He talks with me. He dries my tear. He eases my fear. He calms my doubt. Can't nobody do me like Jesus. He's the best friend that I ever had. He stick closer than any brother. Ain't he all right, church? I said, ain't God all right? Won't he wipe your tears? Won't he be there for you? He's a friend that'll never leave you. He'll walk with you, church. He'll give you joy. And this joy that we have, the world didn't give it to us, so the world can't take it away. Somebody ought to bless the name of Jesus. Somebody ought to tell him thank you. Somebody ought to shout glory. Somebody ought to say hallelujah. Ain't he all right, church? Ain't he all right? I said, ain't he all right? Won't he do it, church? Won't he come through for you? Can't nobody do me like Jesus. He walks with me. He talks with me. He dries my tears. He reached down, picked me up. Can't nobody love me like Jesus. He loves me, church. He loves me. He proved it when nobody else loved me. He died for me, got up for me, coming back for me. Ain't he all right? I said, ain't he all right? Feed me when I get hungry. Keep me company when I get lonely. When I'm depressed, he give me joy. Can't nobody. I said, can't nobody. I'm trying to quit, but can't nobody. He been good to me, church. Been better to me than I've been to myself. Been better to me than I deserve. Can't nobody.
I'm singing, oh, oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. Singing, oh, oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. I'm singing, oh, oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me.
Let us stand.
Jesus had
Those at the church and now, will there be one? Come by louder Christian spin for water baptism. Will there be one?
Pass off of my sorrow that no one
Amen.
can ever know. Sing it, oh, oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. Sing it, oh, oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. Jesus loved me as I am, no matter what the world may say. If I keep my hands in his hand, he'll lead me to the promised land. Singing, oh, oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. Singing, singing, oh, oh, I love Jesus. Oh, I love Jesus. I'm glad he died. I don't care for me. Died out there for your sin and mine. Oh, I love Jesus. Oh, I love him. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. Woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Let me see another day. Do you love him? Do you love him? If you love him, you ought not to be ashamed. Let the world know he's been good to you. He's been good. He's been good. I love him. Oh, I love him. Can I call him? Can I call him? Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I love you. Yes, I do, Lord. And I love you. Oh, I love you. I'm singing, oh, oh, how I love Jesus. Because he first, oh, singing, oh, oh, how I love Jesus. Because he first loved me.